Hi there, I'm Haleigh.
And I'm Jonny.
And you're listening to Jonny, Haleigh, Day of
Fun. Who do we have on today?
I don't know. Let's dive in and find out. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Day of Fun podcast. And we have a return guest, Bob Hansen. Bob Squad, how you doing, friend?
Sweet mother of pearl, Haleigh, what do you say? What do you know? Rubbing elbows, greasing palms, saving trees, hugging whales, kissing hands, shaking babies, having a fun time Sunday, Father's Day, saying stuff and doing things. We got the mode of a toad, the habit of a rabbit. We're going to put a tingle in their groin from Denver to Des Moines. We never stop rocking. I'm excited.
I love it. That is just what I love about you, is that you can just spew that out like nothing, no problem. No, that is just a magical talent that you have. That's you just being tuned into the universe, and it just flows. I dig it.
Well,
I dig it like I dig that Batman shirt.
Hell yeah, Batman. You know, I've been meaning to, it's a shame I'm going to have to miss it, but in San Diego, the West Coast city that I reside in, near one of the wettest oceans in the world.
One of the wettest oceans in the world.
It's up there. It's definitely one of the top 8. They're having a Batman, a symphony, a Batman 89 live symphony movie thing where the symphony plays, and I can't go because I'm going to be telling jokes in Albuquerque, and it's killing me. I'm like, it's a 35th anniversary, and I was about to get my tickets ready, and then I looked at the dates and went, I'm going to Albuquerque.
Albuquerque, man, that's setting a high bar for how they're going to have to perform for you. I tell you what.
They're not performing for me, I guarantee. No, it's a casino like a half an hour from Albuquerque, but we're going to call it Albuquerque. But I am doing that, which is a shame because I wanted to see someone conduct to the grouchy Lieutenant Eckhart saying "Drink and Drano." I wanted to see the two.
Yes, I want to see. I had no idea this was such a thing. I don't know. Like, this is my whole little pull it in from the Tongueverse that I get to go see a thing like that. That sounds like amazing to me. The Batman 89 is the best Batman, and
arguably the greatest film ever made.
Arguably the greatest film ever made, just like arguably you are the greatest podcast guest there ever was on the greatest podcast that ever has been.
I start out strong and then I fizzle. That's my I'm just up there drinking Drano is all I'm doing. Slipping on a banana peel.
I mean, listen, the crowd loves to see a slip on a banana peel too, don't they? It's why people watch NASCAR, isn't it? So that you can just see the accidents happen.
And if so, what am I pulling down? After taxes. So we can just do this all Batman 89.
All day long. All day long. Oh my God. Let me tell you what, that's one of my favorite memories actually when I was a kid. So that was the first movie that we went to see, that my dad took us to see, to go to a movie, right? And it was at a drive-in movie theater. And I remember my dad drove a black Monte Carlo that we thought was the Batmobile. And so we wanted him to drive really fast, right? Because we were in the Batmobile going to see Batman.
What could go wrong?
And what could go wrong was Dad got pulled over for speeding. Because
and
I can still see Dad in the front seat looking back at us going like, put your seatbelts on, put your seatbelts on. That's one of my favorites.
I didn't expect the story to end with, and he went along with it.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. My dad was the greatest yes and dad, for reals. Of course he went along with it. It was probably half his idea to begin with. I mean, really.
Like, how could you? Like, the kids want me to drive fast because, it's in the movies. You know what? I'll just drive fast with it. And then now put your belts on. It's the most thing.
Right? Like, now put your seatbelt on. Now you can't have the kids riding in the back of the pickup truck on the highway anymore. That's not okay.
No, because of society.
I mean, if you don't know how to hang on tight, maybe that's just that Darwinism at work. I don't know.
These kids, get a grip. LOL jokes.
LOL jokes. Get a grip.
Staying hydrated to prevent fatigue and headaches.
It's a very important thing to do. Me too. Cheers to you. Hydrification is highly important.
Well, it's been good for me. I've dropped soda out of my life in the last 3-4 months, and I've taken down a few pounds, and I am happy to report I have my whatever hospital department, the urology, I guess, gave me a clean, perfectly healthy kidney ultrasound. So they say I have great kidneys, and the radiology department says I have two perfectly good livers.
Two perfectly good livers. Well, look at you. You have just got, I mean, if you ever need to sell some organs on the black market, you're just sitting on extras. Lucky you.
I'll sell them at the farmer's market. I'll sell them at the flea market. It don't matter to Bob.
Anywhere there's buyers, right? Like just go wherever they're at. I dig it.
I'll sell them at Boston Market. Who cares?
Somebody will buy it. I think so. Okay, but if you're kicking soda, how are we gonna manifest getting you that Pepsi commercial? Remember, we had that brilliant Pepsi commercial.
That's an issue. And I still have yet to hear from Cindy Crawford since we last spoke.
Oh man, I tell you what,
which is unfortunate. I did not get just one look. But be that as it may, we'll do the best we can with Pepsi and wild cherry Pepsi, which tastes like regular wild cherry Pepsi, none of the sugar, half the calories, which is unfortunate. But well, we're gonna have to just make do with our two perfectly good livers and just be grateful for those.
I mean, listen, two perfectly good livers until that day that you wake up in a tub of ice, right? But that's for Halloween, not Father's Day. So that's
oh my God. I don't want to have to buy all that ice.
That's a lot to have to. I mean, in California, you guys got no water anyway. Do you even have ice out there?
We actually, I don't know why the rest of the country thinks we don't have running water. We totally do.
We're totally not savages that are just like bathing in the ocean every day.
No, give us 6 months, but it'll, we're not there yet.
We're not there yet. You never know when that apocalypse is coming, right? I mean, those people on the street corners, they scream at you all kinds of different dates. You can't ever figure out which one's correct.
Yeah, well, of course they do that. A broken clock is right at least twice a day.
So there had right, like eventually one of them bumped up against the COVID situation and was like, I was right, I knew it, right?
Yeah, because I screamed madness outside every day for 12 years. And one day something like, that's what I know their game, crazy guy outside of Target screaming about Jesus. I know your game. And he is persistent.
He is persistent. Maybe, you know what? That's what it is. I just need some of that persistence of that guy screaming outside of Target is what I need.
He doesn't let up at all. So I know you're still in Nebraska, which is in the middle of the country, I assume.
I'm still in South Dakota, which is almost Nebraska and very still the middle of the country. Yes.
Well, I think, you know what? I was hoping Omaha was near you, and I don't think it was. I think it was a few hours away.
I mean, listen, there's nothing that isn't a few hours away from me. Okay. Like everything is a few hours away. That's standard procedure for where I'm at. So are you doing a show in Omaha? What are you rocking and roll? Because I know you had your dry bar special, right?
That's why, yeah, I was considering doing, you know what it is? I was considering doing I had the chance to do an Omaha to somewhere, maybe Fargo. I don't know the cities.
That's what it would know. That's what it would be like Omaha, Sioux Falls, Fargo. Yeah, like that would probably be your like just coming up the interstate.
It was the Funny Bones. The Funny Bones had a chain going there. But I had to pass on that because Utah came up and I had to go see the Mormons.
I had to go see them. And did you receive, like, were you bestowed ancient wisdoms and wonderful secrets? Like, can you tell us anything?
It was really windy.
It was really windy. Okay.
I think this is my first only time, maybe seeing Provo, Utah, wherever it's like 45 minutes something, a drive from Salt Lake City Airport. Okay, cool. I think I might have been the biggest feminist in Provo, Utah.
Really?
That's a real possibility. Yeah.
Well, that's good information to have. I
think outside they were actually marching for close enough pay. Funny image.
Close enough pay. Well,
yeah, they weren't that optimistic about it. They're like, this is good. They weren't really all in.
So you know what? The rest of us feminists in the country, we just so appreciate you holding things down in Provo for a while there. Like, thanks for stopping in. Like, appreciate the assist, yo.
I know they didn't have any genitals on their hats. There wasn't much of a good protest.
I mean, yeah, come on now. What are you doing? If you're not doing those pussy hats, then you're just not doing it right. I mean, come on. I'm a knitter crocheter. I could rock some of those. I'll go dye up the yarn too.
Now, does the knitting actually balance out the feminist march because you're doing all this crocheting and knitting
Oh yeah,
beforehand.
like it's a very it's a zen sort of a thing for me, knitting. So you get kind of chill and relaxed, and then you're like, well, I don't need to go scream at people, but I'll send these hats to whoever wants to wear them. That's cool, Or maybe that's just my personality where I don't have the energy to like be angry about things anymore because I
I
just
never.
can't.
Yeah, I could. That's a young person's game. Like you're gonna walk for
That's
how long?
in young person's game.
What kind of footwear do you have? Where are the bathrooms? Like I
Where
can't
are the bathrooms indeed?
protest. Yeah.
Where are my stops along the way where I can get snacks? Like if I don't have like some beef jerky with me and some like you got to have some bottled water. Man, I don't know.
Oh God, they must all be low on salt. I don't know how they're doing it. And they got
Right? Right? They
but
got to get some bananas. Y'all are low on potassium too, I'm sure. You can't be doing all that marching around and not getting your potassium.
and in New York City, I was living in New York City. This is January 2017. There was one of our bigger marches where the thing with the hats seemed to at least be invented or come into to my view. And all I could, this is January in New York, and it's again like it's much colder where you are, I'm sure, but nevertheless, I still can't help think you guys are outside. Not everyone is wearing the proper jacket, I don't think.
No, they're not. Some of them are insane people wearing shorts because they think they're tough guys. What are
Yeah,
you doing?
it's like I want
Yeah,
equal rights, but you're just. But how about first not getting pneumonia?
that would be a start. I mean, listen, it's your human ride and you can get as many pneumonias as you want if that's what you're looking for
Yeah,
in this experience. That's totally cool, but not
yeah,
for
my
me.
body, my choice. Well, now your body's blue. You should have worn a coat.
Now your body's blue. And you could have just painted it that color. You could have just done a Snapchat filter that looked cold and you
And
could have just
the thing with the hats. Now that I think about it, aren't the same girls with their vagina hats? I like saying it that way, makes me laugh. Aren't the same girls with the vagina hats the ones going to bachelorette with penis hats on the those kind of things?
maybe we're all just trying to get people to be more like nudist colony groovy or like just it's that body positivity thing. It's like
I
just
think young women have a
everybody's
problem with
everybody's got bits, deal with it. Like whatever.
apparently. I think maybe the problem is just people who insist on wearing genitals on their head all day. Like, what are you? You're doing this by day and this by night. Like everywhere you go, you got to not. Yeah, maybe I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the issue is you. Just stop with the genitals on your head first.
I mean, maybe they're
It's
trying to
crazy.
create they could be channeling like a whole other species of entities in another dimension that do actually have genitals on their heads. Like maybe there's just a pocket of consciousness trying to get through to us that's like, hey man, we want to come visit y'all. So you need to learn to be cool about this. That's the timeline that I'm going to go ahead and believe in my head because it's the funny one that I think is enjoyable. So that's what I'm going to choose. I'm going to choose that that's where that comes from.
That makes sense to me. There's a movie in there somewhere.
There's a movie in there somewhere. Absolutely. We need to write that movie and pitch it to somebody. Like
Someone needs to be like, "Hey, Warner Brothers, listen. I know that the superhero thing isn't working out for you guys. We got this idea for it'll be episodic. It won't be a movie. It'll be episodic.
it's
It'll
a
be on streaming service, cheaply made. We're
yeah.
going to call it Genital Heads. You're gonna love this.
You're gonna love this. And it's like all of these protests are actually coming from like humans like have learning to channel
Right.
this other species that is like trying to talk to us.
Oh man, I just thought of the Zack Snyder cut. It's like it's an extra 8 hours. It's black and white with the more dark, brooding genital heads.
Why not? I don't see any reason why not. That would be a hit on YouTube. People would love it. Like they would run like that could be the new thing for people to fall asleep to, right? Like because it's
Can
got the
you
black.
imagine HBO has regular genital heads, and then next to it there's an extra like version twice as long. It's like genital heads extended. Ugh.
Well, listen, I mean, it could do well on OnlyFans, right? Like there's so many different options available here, is what I'm saying. Like, come on, this could be something really great.
Yeah.
Wherever direction you go with it. Just we need the sci-fi genital head situation to be the newest. I don't know what from I don't where's Adult Swim? They need
Well,
to like
when did Sharknado kind of fizzle? Because they made 80 of them, but it was like one and two of them. I know there's at least three, but then they ducked. I think it's
yeah,
been like
where are the Sharknado people at? Like, you don't need to like you've done the weather and the ocean creatures together. Okay, fine. Let's like pop off a planet Earth and bring in some of the really weird. Let's get super weird about it.
and it's
Sharknado
got to
folks,
be
come hang out.
easier. It's got to be easier to do. You could probably do practical effects instead of just CGI it and
I
spend all your
love
budget.
practical effects.
Because then
In
you could, oh God.
Let
Can you
me tell
imagine?
you what though, like just think of like the behind the scenes footage that like that's a whole documentary until itself. If you're doing practical effects for the genital head species and you just have people like molding penises on people's heads or whatever, I mean, now come on. That's just all kinds of like again content on content on content. YouTube, OnlyFans, all the Adult Swims, all the places. We are building an empire right here, right now, Bob Squad.
Here's what I'm
There it
thinking.
is.
Here's what I'm thinking. The first one is just humans. It's very X-Men. Like it's humans versus the genital heads. They look different. Their genitals aren't heads, and otherwise they look like regular, like Canadians. They look like them.
Okay.
They're like Canadians with genitals on their heads. It's like you don't know they're hiding amongst you except for genitals on their heads. And then you have that,
You
and
don't
then
know they're hiding amongst you until they take off their hat, and then oh, okay.
right. Then you go, oh, and then half.
Ah,
It's very you've seen They Live with Roddy Piper. Maybe you watched it with somebody else. I don't know, but arguably the greatest film ever made. But that's the idea. He puts the glasses on, and then he can see who the aliens are.
yeah.
In this one, half the protesters, that all the protesters take the hats off, but half of them have actual genitals under the genital hats. That's the opening scene, and that's the one you put in the trailer where it keeps fading to black and ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum.
With all the
And then
music and all, yeah, the big
right.
reveal moment, right?
Everyone freaks out, and then Nicole Kidman drinks Coca-Cola and tells you about imagination or something, and then
Okay.
everyone enjoys the feature. That's the trailer, but she does that for AMC movies. I don't know if they have those in South Carolina, but they have.
That they have them everywhere
Are
in the
you again?
Tongaverse. Where are you again? I don't even worry about it. I am out in the
Wait, I'm
cosmos.
going to South Carolina. I'm going in a few days for jokey jokes. That's what
Jokey jokes.
I have it on my brain. But either way, so okay. So I'm thinking the first film. I can't get past this. The
You
first
don't. Why should you? Nor should you. Why would we want to go past this cash cow that we've just created? Why would we
right.
want to?
Because it has to be a whole cinematic universe. But the first, or at least
It
the Frank.
already is. I'm so excited about it.
Can you imagine a tagline? I want to. Well, first, before we get to the taglines,
Okay, before we get to marketing, all right.
firstly, we're gonna do story first, like they should. If we had
Like they,
self-respect,
listen. We'll do it right this way, and we'll teach them all. Right, like this is what it is. The genital head people teach everyone how to do it the right way. You do the story first, and then you do the marketing. There we
we
go.
learn not to judge people by the genitals on their head, but the content of their character.
Yes, because that is what is important. Now, see, now you're really cooking because now you got a message rolling right there. Here we are. I love it.
It's not just about genitals on heads; it's about family. Someone needs to say that in a trailer. It never is about family, but like when Prince says they had what's there to Carrie Fisher say for one of the Star Wars, there's a 10-foot bear dog and he's shooting a bow and arrow with lasers, and then they have a trailer. It's about family. I don't thank you, Carrie Fisher. We appreciate you, but no,
We do appreciate you. We appreciate
nice
her
job.
very much. Yes.
But we appreciate your efforts in that one. Try to but then eventually humans they learn their lesson from the genital heads and they learn about acceptance and and maybe there's some like
I
new
love it.
kid from Stranger Things or whatever who's like an up and rising star or whatever, and then they end up having genitals on their head the whole time, and the parents wondered why they're or people wonder why the parents made the kid wear a hat for 17 years or some kind of nonsense. But then the second
I
one, this is
love
where it
it.
gets crazy.
We're already into the sequels. This is a whole franchise. It's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah, because the second one, there needs to be a war amongst the genital heads. Because now they feud with the humans, but now we divide the genital heads. And I don't even know if the story's garbage. Who cares? But
The
for this one, the
story's
poster,
garbage. Okay, we're gonna start with the
poster is
story,
too.
and in the sequel, the story is garbage. You don't care. The first one, you start with story and do it right.
If
From
you're
then on in
hooked,
the
you're hooked.
franchise, I'm with
Yeah,
it.
you're going. You're going.
I'm with it. I'm here for it.
It doesn't matter. But just for the poster, I don't even know the movie will be crap.
Just for the posters,
I want
just
the
for
two
the
opposing.
merch.
You've seen posters with like Captain America and Iron Man head to head, Batman and Superman head to head. You know where I'm going. Yeah,
I know where we're going with this. I can see where we're going.
just in full force in midair, colliding, and
This
genital
is
heads too.
already this genital heads too.
Oh, Genital heads 2, and then colon, and then below it, 2 heads are better than 1.
Are better than
So,
1. This is
printed money. Just give me my money. Give me my Batman 89 style merch. Just merch it to death.
Just merch it to death. Every bachelorette party, every protest, everything is just going to be full of genital heads merch, and I just love it. 2 heads are better than
We won't
one.
even call it because people, they don't, Hollywood doesn't like to name things like Back to the Future 2 anymore. They don't like to just they always try to give the sequels wacky names. Like there's Batman Begins, there's Dark Knight. There's not Batman Begins and Batman Begins 2 or whatever one.
And so Batman Begins 2 and Begins 3 and Begins
right,
4.
They had Dark Knight and Dark Rises and blah, blah, blah. This one, we're just going to call it, just to be cool, GH2. That's what we're going to call the sequel.
I love it. GH2.
Oh, GH2, Roman numeral, 2 heads are better than 1. Poster, boom.
And then but the next ones that you have, you're going to have like GH2 squared or something like that, right? Then you're going to start just getting really weird. And
yeah, GH2, but TOO or something like that. I don't know.
I'm just so very excited for this entire franchise. I can't wait to be a part of it. Like, who do we need to pitch this to?
I don't know, but we
ready
need to
for
make it to 4 movies, unfortunately. And my only reason is that's the poster.
Unfortunately, we need to make it. I'm gonna go ahead and say we got to make it to 8. I'm gonna double it. I'm gonna yes and you up to 8. We need 8 movies in this franchise. We need to like super Fast and the Furious rock this thing.
That is a lot of genital heads. I don't know how many could possibly have, but the reason I say 4 and the third and fourth ones won't be good, but the reason I say 4
none of them will be
is just for the poster. We have to do something with Mount Rushmore.
Oh, absolutely. Well,
yeah.
no, but that's why you got to get to 8, because eventually you get to where you've doubled Mount Rushmore, right? Like you got to have right. So now you got to get to 8, and like, listen, they're all going to be mostly terrible, but movie number 7, for whatever reason, is going to be the biggest blockbuster hit, like cult classic that people love. I don't know why.
It'll be one of those freak things. Like, no, dude, you got to watch. It's like
so good. You never would expect it to be so good, but it was amazing.
It's like the Friday the 13th movies. Like everyone loves 6. That's my favorite too. Jason Lives, I think so. 6 because that's when the first time he's zombified. And then 7 was the telekinesis girl. He was all like zombie-ish because I guess they killed him in 5. I don't know. I didn't watch the Corey Feldman ones particularly, but anyway,
I love Corey Feldman. He's one of my favorites in The Burbs. He's the greatest.
Arguably the greatest film ever made.
Arguably the greatest film ever made. Absolutely.
I love Jason. That's because it's the Jason Lives is the classic. Okay, dead zombie guy under the hockey mask, campers. I think that's the sleeping bag kill, which is the funniest, the least bloody, is everyone's favorite. And I'm the same way.
Because that's just like that serial killer burrito bag thing. Like you just
right.
To-go bag.
Like he's breaking those bags of ice to get to chill your wild cherry Pepsi Zero.
To chill your wild cherry Pepsi Zero and your post, black market liver sale situation.
So I wonder so I think for 7 in the GH series.
In the GH series, all right.
For all you G heads out there.
For all you G heads out there. We already have a huge fan base, the G heads. This is magnificent. I love this so much already. All those G heads are going to be so excited for number 7. For this.
I love that you said magnificence or whatever.
Magnificence. That's my thing. Is I'm making up words now because Shakespeare did it, and I'm a writer. I get to do it too. So neener.
There you go. The last poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio, a lover of infinite jest.
Yes.
Is that Hamlet?
I don't know. I'm not even that well versed in Shakespeare. I'll be honest with you. I was in a production of The Taming of the Shrew when I was in high school. Yay me!
Oh my! Well, let me I hate to pat myself on the back. I bet you didn't see that shit coming after Genital Heads.
I did not see that coming after Genital Heads. I would not have put together Shakespeare and Genital Heads, but
I'm stealing that.
That is why number 7 is such a classic hit, right? Because you wouldn't expect it to be such highbrow comedy.
What we're doing for the cover of number 7, that poor Grand Canyon.
That poor Grand Canyon, but everyone loved it. I mean, like, so artfully done is the phrase that people continue to use. That it was just so artfully done.
And poor Florida's never going to forgive us.
Nor should they, but listen, that's their fault for all them gators and Crocs they got going on.
Sorry, guys.
They did it to their own selves. All
But
right.
the cover of 3, you're going to get it, Florida.
You're gonna be in for it, and you asked for it.
Doing.
I love this already. This is fantastimous. I can't wait for us to start. I'm so excited about this franchise. It's already just the most brilliant thing in Hollywood. It like, come on. They need our ideas is what they need. That's how they're gonna like stop it with the reboots. We need the genital heads.
Everyone complains there's no new ideas. If you can do it if it makes money. I mean, listen, Cocaine Bear was based on a true story.
Yeah.
Why can't you can't tell me genital heads can't exist in the same, not maybe the same cinematic world, but no, but not in the same theater. You can't play cocaine. You can't tell me a theater can have Nicole Kidman telling me about my dreams and my imagination and high fructose corn syrup products I'm supposed to consume. And then she looks at the camera, says something British, and then everyone has a great time. And then you play Cocaine Bear. You can't tell me that genital heads and GH2 and so on and so forth.
And so on and so forth into the 8th film wouldn't be. It absolutely belongs in a theater. I think that, you know what? We would have we could have our own theaters. We're gonna just build this in the Tongerverse theaters that we're building. That'll go with our Tongerverse amusement parks.
Can we go back to the tongs? And I'm not going to get past the genital heads ever. So
no one's ever gonna get past genital heads ever again. It's gonna be like the before Christ, after Christ, before genital heads and after genital heads. And
I think my life just changed.
It just absolutely did. And now you are officially in-house Tongarian because you've asked about the tongs. So this is another one of my podcasts that I'm doing. You have to go to tonger.org and check it out. This is how we're taking over just everything in the entire multiverse. It's your tongs is your tool for getting into the Tongerverse, where you create your reality in whatever way you would like to. And it is because you say it is, and you don't have to do anything. And you just let the magic of the universe create the things you want. So now, I don't know how the universe will magically create that we get to make this whole movie franchise that will be ridiculously, wildly successful. But I'm calling it in from the Tongerverse. That's what's happening. I'm so very thrilled for this to just pop. Look at lighten her up. So excited. There we go. Hey-o.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yes, that's a part of the game. You can make up. I mean, listen, the whole thing about Tonger is that you make up your own game. You make up your own universe. That's what it is. So Tonger is what you decide that it is. And right now it is the Genital Heads franchise that's gotten up to 8 films and is just like the greatest thing to ever happen to humanity. And I'm thrilled to be part of it.
Me too. We're going to have to work. So, would they be aliens or...
I think they're going to have to be from like another parallel reality. So they're not like from another planet. They're from like another parallel dimension sort of thing.
Can we go the Godzilla route? Can we have them affected?
Can we please always go the Godzilla route? Godzilla is my spirit animal.
Oh, I love Godzilla. I just watched Godzilla -1, arguably greatest film ever made. I saw it in theaters, and then I watched it again on Netflix. I finished it last night. Absolutely true. And I bought on, where is it? I also bought on digital video disc. It's like an older form of media. There's no time to explain. But
There's no time to explain, Batman.
There's no, but I got the Godzilla X Kong Frozen Empire Ghostbusters. That's a different film. Whatever. I mixed the movies. They should just be the same. But anyway, I got this on digital video disc, and I could watch it on my digital video disc player at my leisure without being connected to the super information highway known as the World Wide Web.
That's an interesting thing, isn't it? That you can do that.
It spins around real fast. I tried it with my finger, but nothing happens.
But nothing happens. As it may. Now, I think that we're really onto something, though, with the mixing of the movies now. The Godzilla Ghostbusters mixing of the movies can somehow like be a part of Genital Heads, where you're like mixing in a lot of other movie concepts. So,
God, I don't know if Toho would ever go for that. Sony would. I don't know if Toho. They're pretty picky.
Listen, somebody's going to want to invest in this immediately. I don't know who, just because who wouldn't? Again, the merch that you can spin off of this forever.
What I'm thinking is that by going the Godzilla route, what I mean is, can they be caused by some kind of radiation, radioactive, some
I
bomb?
mean,
Like
what
Godzilla is
you
always a metaphor for atomic war and
right,
everything going
absolutely.
on.
I don't see why not. Like this time it is a situation where it's the, nuclear waste that has not been properly disposed of, and
Right, and there's
that
a
like
small Midwestern town where you come in.
there's a couple of them all over the place. There's like North Carolina's got some like underground buried nuclear waste that is not being properly like,
Exactly. So the general
stored
heads
or
need to be
whatever.
near this town, and I think that the media needs and the government needs to. The media should be trying to explore, hopefully, but like the government should be trying, of course, sweep them under the rug, and then the
So
general.
there's sort of like leper colonies is what we're gonna go with here. Is like, so like they're these sort of, it's like The Village, right? We're bringing in The Village to the M. Night Shyamalan
Is the
situation.
village? Is that the one where Robin Williams dresses up like a woman to see his kids?
Yes, that's absolutely correct, Miss. And so we're gonna have that in here too. And the
Yeah,
ghost of
because he
Robin
puts the
Williams is gonna
he's like a
show
nanny.
up
He puts his face in the pie because he's
in
gonna
the
get
pie.
and he goes, "Good morning, Vietnam."
Yes, that is exactly what the ghost of Robin Williams did in GH squared, which is the third in the series, or I don't know, whatever it was, but he did
I
show
think
up.
we're allowed to CGI him in now. I think that they don't care anymore.
Well, no,
Yeah,
we got his permission via Ouija board just last night. It's totally fine. Like we were talking to him on the Ouija board. We got his okay on everything.
was it you? I discussed the mixing of Ouija and charcuterie boards. Did we? Was this
Yes,
last time?
yes,
Oh my God.
yes, it was. We still have to do that, and we gotta have set. That has to be, that is in the first Genital Heads movie. It has to be like where they end the whole like happy party, the happiness joyful scene ends at our Ouija board charcuterie shop somewhere in California sauce. I don't know,
I
in
could see
California.
the regular girls with no genitals on their heads, like playing like charcuterie or Ouija, and like they don't let the genital head girl like play
Charcuterie
in.
Ouija, and they have like the
Like they're
little
contacting the dead with the salted meats. Yeah,
with the salted meats and like a planchette made out of cheese that's like carved out of cheese.
it
And
does sound delicious. And a
that
little oil, a
sounds
little olive oil.
spectacular. I am so for it.
Huh.
I would eat a cheese planchette 100%. Who wouldn't?
This is money. We're gonna be like the George Lucas of genital heads. We're just gonna be. Can't wait till
Yeah.
Disney buys us out. What they're gonna do then? And everyone will complain Disney ruined the Genital Heads franchise, which they come.
Well, they kind of did, they took it to a very like more family friendly place, and we had it in a more authentic sort of space. But you know what? Listen, that's okay because the royalties we're getting, we're going to be able to come up with a whole new, even bigger and better than Genital Heads series that people just like stay tuned for more. Don't even worry. We've got more coming.
I'm sure we'll get what's his name? The who's the Star Trek and Star Wars action guy, James something or other, the
No.
director.
Oh, James Cameron? No.
No,
I thought we were going to get William Shatner to do something. I was like, what?
he's 90. Well, I mean, those are the guys you get for your cameos. Like, oh wow, isn't that because it gives it authenticity? Oh wow, Shatner appeared. Isn't that crazy? He
Shatner
appeared for
appeared.
1 second to give us like he's the he's that one person that gets ignored, but he says some kind of message towards the end. Like how like Silent Bob and all those Kevin Smith movies,
Oh,
he
yeah.
says nothing, but then he says the important thing, which is a way for Kevin, what's his name, to say that he has no ego, but then he has the most important line. So it's like, he's kind of got,
well, listen, that's
yeah.
all right. We can totally bring that into like
He can be in it, fine. Kevin Smith can be in Genital Heads. That would be fine, and he could be that. And you know what? Silent Bob can just give the speech. I don't care, whatever. That'll be fine.
Like that would be fun. Where like in this one, he like won't stop talking. You can't shut him up.
Yes, like in real life. Yeah, that would be
like in real life. Okay, there we go.
Goes on for. There's a 20-minute scene where he just talks about how he defends ruining He-Man. Can you let it go, Bob? Can you ever let it go?
Ruining man. Oh no, Bob will never let it go. Do we need to like what? How do we need to
Never forgive
redeem
him.
the whole He-Man situation in the Genital Heads franchise? How do we do that?
Oh goodness.
Like, how do we bring in He-Man? How do we bring in like I gotta have Beetlejuice in there somehow if we're gonna blend in favorite movies now. If we're gonna mix up, we got some Batman, we're gonna have some Sharknado, we're
I'm
gonna
all
have
for Beetlejuice because then Winona Ryder gets to be in it. I hope gets to be like she's itching to do this project.
Of course she is. She's so excited to work with us because we're just a barrel of laughs. She just
She's just
enjoys
making
hanging out.
she's just making all sorts of crazy faces, and that's just when we explain the plot to her.
And Christina Ricci's gonna come along because Adam's Family is on brand too for me. So like you're
Okay.
gonna get both of them. We need Winona Ryder
Is
and
she one of the,
Christina.
I didn't was she one of the Wednesdays or she was
She
the
was
first
she was the yeah she
one?
was yeah she was the early Wednesday, yeah, well not the first Wednesday because then you got to go well like in the Wayback Machine, right?
Yeah, they gotta all be dead. Uh, they gotta be.
They gotta be. I maybe they could.
Monsters are alive. I wonder.
I don't know. That's a good question. I know Elvira's still around and kicking. Let's get her. Oh my
She
god.
looks great. She had Cassandra Peterson.
Yeah,
Peters.
she
One of those.
does look great. She is
She's
like
amazing. She's redheaded. Yeah, she'd be perfect in there. She'd be perfect. Just as herself.
yeah.
She doesn't have to get dolled up. I don't care.
No.
Get her. What's Mr. T up to? He's alive.
What's
Get him.
Mr. T up to? Dolly
George,
Parton. We
Dolly
need
would be wonderful. Dolly would
we
be
got to get
wonderful.
Dolly in there.
But I wonder where. I mean, they have to, especially someone. Dolly would take the stance of being accepting and
She's
wanting
gonna
freedom.
like Dolly is like absolutely the one who is like a big advocate for all the Genital Heads kids, right? Like she's
Yeah,
definitely heading up that like save the kids element there on that
totally.
front. That's
Totally.
like, and you know what? I bet you Elvira's in there and she's helping Dolly with that too, because she's like kind
Oh
of
God.
the spiky, saucy one who's like getting
That's
up
right.
in all of the military dudes' faces. I don't know why the military is involved, but they're in there somewhere, right?
Oh, you have to have them. You have to have them. That's where Sergeant Slaughter could come in and be do a cameo too. Sarge will do stuff. He's busy. Sarge is busy. Um, we got to get him all. I don't know. Mr. T should play the angry guy who wants them off his lawn, but he won't do it. He won't play a bad guy. I don't think.
Well, we're gonna yeah, okay. Well, who are our bad guys then? Like,
I
so we
don't
gotta
know, but this should be the project that gets Rick Moranis out of retirement. If we can
well,
do that,
okay, but what side is he on then? Is he maybe he's like one of the mad scientist kind of people
he
who
would be a great scientist. Could he be a good scientist who is kidnapped and some bad guy wants to force Moranis's good scientist character to force him to find a way to quote unquote cure the genital heads, but he's conflicted, but he's also held hostage, and he's a small, frail guy, and he's got to be 70 now, so he's kind of held
so he
against his
can't
will.
yeah,
But he
definitely a
needs
hostage situation.
he's not really a bad guy. He's a bad guy against his own will. So someone has to save him. But it has to be
Someone
some
has to
teaming of
save him.
a
But
non-general head and a general head.
right. And so like he's got all the intel on like how the government's been trying to wipe out the genital heads, like right, like because he's been doing the science
Yeah.
element. He's got all
Well,
the
that
information
once
because he
they
was
free him, he knows too
then
much.
he knows all the stuff and he can help all the heroes to like find all the places where they're hiding them and like take down the whole thing, right? So like who's our I think
Very
Elvira would
valuable
be
man.
great as one of our heroes who saves Rick Moranis. I think she would just be
Elvira
great.
would be outstanding. Would be
She would
absolutely
so she
outstanding.
her and who does she bring in as a sidekick? Like
Everyone
she's
I like is dead.
everyone I like is dead. Well, listen, you know, I think there's a lot of us who feel that way in this world. It's okay.
I wanted to say Pee Wee. Pee Wee Herman would be great. Um,
We could have a holographic ghost of Pee Wee Herman with Elvira, and they save Rick Moranis.
I'm thinking I'm trying to save budget here because how else going to pitch this to Warner Brothers? Uh, I don't know. Can Nicole?
Sky's
Is
the
Nicole
limit.
Kidman? Is Nicole Kidman allowed to be in a movie that she pitches to from the AMC buffer where she's drinking the aspartame and telling us to achieve our goals?
I
Can
don't
she
see
be in
what
the
she.
same film? Is that a conflict of interest or no?
Well, no, but I think she's kind of probably be on the side of like, you know, she's going to be a Nurse Ratchet type in the school and or hospital area where like the kids are kept that Dolly Parton is trying to save. I think
What's
Dolly Parton and Nicole Kidman are going to have like a sort of very atomic blonde fight scene that's gonna have to be highly choreographed and magnificent. I think that's gonna have to happen.
True.
Dolly Parton's gonna have to be wearing that like tight cheerleader outfit that got everybody upset.
Oh Jesus.
Like I don't know why, but that's what she's gonna be in.
What about the Alexander? What's his face? The guy who played George in Seinfeld.
Oh yes. Oh,
What's he up to?
what is he up to? And why do I not?
Something. James
No.
Alexander? George Alexander? What the hell's that guy's name? Alexander something.
Jason Alexander.
Jason. Boom.
Jason, Jason. Friday the 13th is where we had to like go back there. That see.
There you go. Jason Alexander Lives. Totally different movie.
Totally different movie. That is like the 5th movie in the franchise here.
He's just killing teenagers. George is getting upset.
George is getting upset, and that's the summer of George. Is like that's the summer, right? The summer of genital heads, and that it's gonna be great. We can put it all together now. See, listen, who doesn't want to be involved in this project at this point?
Money. I don't understand.
It's like they're allergic to fun, right? Like, come on, how great would this be?
Because that's the thing. I'm trying to figure who can we afford, who would do it mostly for the passion that you wouldn't have to like.
You want to know who's gonna do it? Is Nicolas Cage, because he's into like doing some of the weird movies anymore, right? Like he's done like.
Well, hold on. Would he be with a main good or a main bad guy?
Ooh.
My reason is I'm hoping he'd be good, which sounds a little crazy, but my reason is because I think Kelsey Grammer can nail the bad guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh. I like that.
The guy who played his brother. I don't care.
No, I think a Nick Cage, like Kelsey Grammer, like I think Kelsey Grammer and Val Kilmer could rock some like bad guy situation, right? Like they're gonna be like the, I don't know, black shadow government dude and military counterpart dude, right? Is gonna be Val Kilmer and
okay.
Well, I just know I love it. And now we've got like right on the other side, we've got Nick Cage and Jason Alexander, right? They're going to be the good guys.
The general head, can he be one of the GHs?
Can he be a secret GH?
No, it's not much of a secret until he takes his hat off. But like,
well, right, exactly. I don't see why not.
Okay, so here's how we discover beginning of the second act that Nick Cage is actually a general, because he never takes his hat off, which is a tell for the audience. But he's angry. He's face to face, but they're not nose to nose. But he's face to face with Kelsey Grammer. They're having a different argument. Kelsey pushes Nick. Nick pushes Kelsey. Kelsey pretends he's backs off because he's the bad guy. It's Pro Wrestling 101. Nick Cage looks the other way. Kelsey goes to kick Nick Cage in the groin, and you expect Nick to go down, but then he stops and nothing happens. And then he takes off his hat, and you go, that didn't hurt him because the genitals were on his head the whole time.
The whole time.
They come to blows until finally Kelsey Grammer has to get out of it, and he headbutts Nick Cage, and that stuns and takes Nick Cage down temporarily, just for Kelsey Grammer to run away, use a secret entrance like a dumb waiter or whatever, just a really stupid waiter. It's somebody who can't get down the hallway, and that's where Rick Moranis is being kept.
I love this. I think this is fantastic. This is absolutely. I would absolutely buy tickets to that, eat popcorn and all kinds of snacks in the movie theater watching that.
I went to college. Yeah.
I went to college, and it shows, and it absolutely shows. I got to tell you, that is some storytelling. Like, that is the hero's journey arc structure if I ever have heard it. I mean, how can we not have this be just the next thing that takes over all of the superhero franchises? I mean, it's already a hit in Japan, I tell you.
It's about family.
It is about family. At the end of the day, it's about family. You know what? I'm just so very glad that we went off on this tangent and that this is where we ended up going. I had no idea we were going to
beat it to death. I'm a one-trick pony beating a dead horse. I'll do it all day long. I don't care. I'm like, how far can you take this?
How far can we take this is the best question to ask. Like, how much yes and can I do with this is exact.
Yes and.
All the yes and to it. I tell you, I can't wait to put together a pitch deck to put and who do we send it to? I don't know. Who's going to storyboard this for us is the better question.
I live closer to Hollywood than you do, so I guess this is up to me. I think I'm making the drive.
Bob Squad, it's all up to you to save the Genital Heads franchise.
Save the franchise doesn't exist.
This is yes. This because it's there's like a quantum timeline sort of situation going on too. Like time isn't real, so you have to save the franchise before the franchise has even existed, right?
Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking. We have the people in a small town near the nuclear waste. They're especially if it takes place in modern times. You can't keep anything a secret with technology and what have you.
Right.
What if we reveal? You know how on Instagram celebrities they always put emojis over their babies' faces.
Okay.
What if we find out it's not for secrecy or because they don't want weirdos stalking their, which is ridiculous when they're infants because all infants look alike. Like, how the hell do you even know which infant is which? But that's ridiculous.
You have to be their parent to know which infant is which. It's kind of like, the dog thing. Like, you know who your dogs are.
I also have a side theory that all those babies have, all those Hollywood actresses have babies with emojis because there's one sleazy Hollywood director with hearts on his eyes and like no one's doing the math on what's going down there. But be that like it's clearly that guy. How did you not know?
Right?
But what if it? But that's a whole other story. We could explore that another time. But what if we find out that certain celebrities, the real reason certain celebrities do that and some don't, because the ones that are putting emojis over over their babies' faces are that those babies are actually genital heads.
They're actually genital head babies.
But it's what an excuse that
it's like a secret like celebrity circle thing too. That some of it's very like Illuminati, right?
Very Illuminati. It's the whole thing. Like that's the code of how they talk to each other.
Yes, like so they've already been here for a very long time, right? And like this is the whole thing though, is that like because of all this technology, it's harder for them to hide, right? It's harder to hide.
It's their way to communicate with each other. Like, oh look, I got one, you got one, wink, wink, nudge, nudge,
right? Like,
and then they all do each other's movies and blah 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 blah. Is there any younger, because we need some running around and jumping and fighting and shooting and whatnot? Are there any younger action stars that would jump in that, because we named all these dying people.
We named all these, all of our favorite people that like, I don't know. You know what? This is where I'm going to have to bring in my friend Sage, the intern, so she can tell us who all the good peeps are for the.
Who's young and hip now? We don't.
I don't know. She's 22, so she can tell us. I'll be like, listen, you're on the top, right? You're on the TikToks. You can tell us who do we need to pull in from the TikTok verse. We got to bring the TikTok verse people into our Genital Heads franchise, right? Because we got to be able to like hold down that whole sector, that demographic.
Right? I know who Logan Paul is because of wrestling, which is unfortunate. You might have some sirens.
I can hear some sirens. You know what that is? That's just the universe. That's the Tongiverse saying that like, our franchise has already been saved. That somehow Bob Squad has found a way to get us some funding to get this thing rolling.
And it might say it's on life support. Well, it doesn't take any funding to write a script. That's for sure. We have Google Docs.
We have Google Docs. We have Chat GPT. We can start it up. Who it's going to do? We've got all kinds of AI imagery stuff we can do for storyboards. Oh my Lord. Can you imagine the AI?
Apparently Zoom has a function called AI Companion. Are you aware of this?
Yeah, I don't know what it does either. I haven't played with it, but I'm
scared.
Just think of the AI tools that we could use to create all the storyboards and all the things we would need to pitch this like franchise. It's already in the bag. It's just so I can't wait for us to just have this all put together. I can't like the fan art for the Genital Heads franchise is gonna be the fan fiction is gonna be amazing. Like it's gonna be just I can't wait.
Well, we're about to change the world.
We're off to change the world. One movie franchise of 8 films about people with genitals on their heads who have been existing amongst humans unbeknownst to us since Roswell. We're going to tie it into Roswell.
We'll get Roswell in there too.
We're bringing it all in.
I don't know. When was the last time you saw like a Schwarzenegger, like a Predator or a Commando or any Schwarzenegger thing? It's all one-liners. I'm thinking of the one-liners like somebody gets hurt or beat up and someone goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I wouldn't want to tank the experience." and someone else goes, "Oh, this evil whoever Kelsey Grammer's thing is. Oh, I'm sorry. What's the matter, buddy? Feeling crotchety? You can just
Crotchety. You'd
you
have
can
all
just
kinds
give
of
me.
little things that you could.
It's like the normies or humans or whatever. The normies are coming for us. How do you know? I can feel it in my loins.
I can feel it in, right up here. It's double because your third eye chakra's right there, so you could get the spiritual folks in there. Like they've got some kind of other like connectivity going on because of that somehow, right? We'll figure that. We'll work out that storyline bit too. We'll get all the Sedona folks in on it. They're gonna love our franchise.
Maybe they're confused. Some of them are more confused than others about human life. They go into a Target or a Walmart and take a pair of underwear and put it on their heads upside down or something. They can just the fun can just never end.
Can never end. And then we're gonna have our animated series on YouTube that's a spin-off of it that
Oh God.
yeah, that's gonna be super exciting. And then you're gonna be able to bring in all your fun animated characters that are gonna join
I'll do a voice or two for that one. Yeah, I guess I kind of.
Yeah, well, you have to. I mean, you're contractually obligated to.
Someone's gonna say, "Oh, you know that one side character who blah blah blah." Oh, that's the guy. That's one of
Yeah. He's one of the guys who started the whole franchise.
the GH guys.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
He's in hiding. No one knows what he looks like now.
Nobody knows what he looks like now. Well, because you're so fantastically wealthy from all of the merch and the sales and everything. Like we get to just buy islands somewhere, and
Yes.
no one ever does see us anymore. All they see is our AI avatar that we send out to do all of our, press junkets and whatever. It's just a digital AI avatar, like one of those Hansen Robotics robots, right? With like a face that just switches to like kind of zoom something or other. It just turns into like the AI avatar face of whoever it is. That's what we send out. The robot will do all of our press junkets and stuff for us, and we will just be hanging out and enjoying all of our GH squared money times on.
Can't we just hire a young person instead?
I mean, whichever way you want to go. I like the robot way. Sci-fi is my gig. I'm for it. But if you want to just hire somebody to pretend to be you, that's cool too.
Nah, I don't trust the robots. I
You
like
don't trust the robots?
That's how He-Man would pronounce it in the cartoon in the 80s. For some reason, because the guy John Irwin, whatever his name was, I don't even know if he's alive, but he was
We'll find
he
out.
was an old guy at the time, and so who knows? But either way, he would always pronounce it must be some sort of robot, and it would just especially because it was in '83. It was still way too late to be saying robot. He's still 30 years too late, but it just makes me laugh every time. It looks like Skeletor has built some evil robots.
I love robots, but that could be like, robots could be their own like species of robots in our franchise also, right? Like there's the robots and the robots.
I can see the robots being used as some kind of new like secret military defense against the general heads. Against this is the special GH unit. This is what they got Rick Moranis doing.
Right. There we go. But like the AI becomes sentient and doesn't want to hurt anybody. And like the AI turns out to be like anti-Terminator, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I dig that. And they are like, no, we won't go and attack the genital head people. We refuse.
I just had a scary vision. What if in GH2, the one with the awesome poster,
yeah,
where we have the robots and do everything they can do in part one, except for one thing. We hold off on that. Got to leave a little something. And one of the heroes discovers that the one of the general head teams is doing something with the robots, and then they pick up what they think is a destroyed robot. They turn it over, and someone put their genitals on the head of the robot, and now the robot's all have genital heads, and they are used in the fight. So this way, because it's going to be traumatic, you can get away with killing more robots on screen than for ratings than you can with humans. It's less traumatic for kids and what have you, because the robots are doing the fighting for the humans.
And we're about family, right?
We're about family, and that's how they got away with killing Optimus Prime. This is the same principle. They're like, well, he's a robot, and then all the kids cry because they're like, are you insane? He's their hero. But never it's how they got away with it, because Superman can blast through and tear Lex Luthor's 88 robots apart, but if he tears Luthor's head off, it becomes a whole different story. But that's why we have the robots, so we don't have just gore and destruction everywhere. Save that for Jason Alexander Lives.
For Jason Alexander Lives. I love it. This is such a brilliant plan. How are you not a studio executive?
I went to college.
went to college, have all the ideas, and just, I mean, studios are losing money not having you on, just running the whole show. I mean, honestly, the imaginary and magicalness that we have just created here, we should be hired by all the creative think tanks that there are that could possibly be. AI algorithms send folks our way because we've got all the answers.
You're on script writing to put all those words into because the general head should talk that way. Like it sounds human, but then it's like it sounds normal, then it's a little off, like the Canadians.
There we go. I love it. No, I can absolutely create a language that sounds normal but a little bit off, because that's exactly where I exist in this human experience. Normal but a little bit off.
That's that's where you are.
Sanity adjacent is how I like to define myself. That's what it is.
So how are you?
I'm doing great, Bob Squad. This is the perfect way to end this out. Great.
I made myself LOL.
I know, that was fantabulous. That was well played, sir. Well played. I think that's a fantastic note to end on. Tell everyone again where to find Bob Squad. All of what do you got coming up for your shows, doing the jokes? I mean, I can't wait to Tonger crash a live show of yours and
yes.
just start making.
Hold on, you're in South Dakota.
I'm in South Dakota.
Is Fargo in South Dakota, or is that north?
Fargo is North Dakota, but that's where Johnny Boy is at, so I can totally jump on up there and we can all have a rock and roll party time.
He's in Fargo, and you're in Sioux Falls is in South Dakota.
Sioux Falls, that's where I'm at.
Sioux Falls, okay, and that has a lot of vowels in it.
We've got it's that X situation. SIOUX.
You have an X. I knew that one.
Yeah, we've got that kind of thing going on.
Does it have an airport?
We do have an airport.
Okay.
You can fly right into the airport that's here.
Huh. Yeah. Well, I'll have a pilot do it instead. That's what I pay for. Okay, so you're in Sioux Falls and Fargo is due. I'm going nowhere near there in the near future. But
okay, well, tell folks where you are going then.
well, on Instagram, it's a popular social media networking platform. You can use it for sharing pictures and videos and what have you. There's no time to explain, but I did
never time.
But yeah, Bob Hansen jokes there for the shows where I'm going out, mostly in San Diego, California. They call it America's finest city. I'm not sure why they do that. But there's running water, and you can enjoy that. There's a zoo no one goes to except tourists with kids who hate them. And there's a SeaWorld where they're probably mean to the fishes or something or other. No one goes there, but it's San Diego. But this, depending on when this comes out.
Way to talk up your hometown, your home space there, Ray. Well played. Well played.
Yeah, it's all right. It's San Diego is actually a Spanish word for means go straight on red. A lot of people don't know that.
Go straight on red. Okay.
You can also go straight on green, but you have to be texting. We have rules.
Oh, I love it.
So that was material. I was being an idiot.
Texting, no, I love it. Texting Tonger texting while you're driving Tonger is definitely a popular game. I love it.
Everyone wins. But this, I don't know if this might not come out, but whatever, June 21st, 22nd, 23rd, that whole weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm at the Comedy Zone, Greenville, South Carolina. My good buddy Zoltan just came out with a new special on YouTube. Netflix foolishly passed on it. So I'll be sharing that on all my media too. So that's on the popular social media networking platform YouTube, where people share videos and there's advertisements and what have you. But other than that, yeah, check me out, Bob Hansen Jokes Instagram. You'll see where I'm at in San Diego. I'm going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina in October, and a casino outside of Albuquerque in late July.
And when you don't worry about it, I am gonna just call it in from the Tongerverse that some Batman magical something happens for you while you are hanging out in the Albuquerque vicinities.
It's gonna happen. And if Provo, Utah had not come up, I think I would have been in that little mini funny bone route in the Dakotas. So we were close, but I had to go see the Mormons because I had an agreement to see the Mormons.
You got to go with those contractual agreements. I understand. Don't worry.
Don't want to upset the Mormons though, because if they hate you, they just keep breeding more and more people who hate you. So you have to keep the Mormons happy.
You got to keep them happy because they're going to build up all of our genital heads audience, right? Like they're going to keep making audience members for us, and we.
I'm not sure they'll go see the film.
I think they will. I think it's going to be one of those like weird things where it's just like strangely appeals to everyone somehow, and the Mormons are going to be like, they're going to be our biggest financiers.
I bet the bad Mormon kids who want to rebel against their parents, they'll be the ones to go see the film.
There's going to be like a Mormon kid who became a cannabis entrepreneur, something or other, made bajillions of right, bajillions of dollars, and that is our financier for Genital Heads, because that's his like ultimate rebellion, is to make this wildly successful franchise that will so upset his Mormon parents, and we're so happy to help him do it. Yes.
We win.
We win. It's
Everybody
been decided.
wins.
Everybody wins. Bob Hansen, thank you so much for joining me on this Day of Fun episode again. As always, it has been a pleasure.
Drink and Drano. Pleasure is mine, Haleigh. Had a good time.
Had a good one. Take care. Hey, thanks so much for listening, y'all. I've been Haleigh.
And I've been Jonny.
And this has been Jonny, Haleigh, Day of Fun. Thanks so much for listening. Check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/JonnyHaleighDOF, and we're JonnyHaleighDOF on Instagram and at gmail.com. Send us your hate mail. We'll read it out loud on the podcast, won't we, Jonny?
For sure.
Awesome. Thanks for listening. Peace out, y'all.
Later.
Special thanks to the Parapost Network for the support of their community. Check out all the great podcasts on the Parapost Network on Facebook.